Welcome to My Healing is Your Healing, a podcast for the woman who is ready to stop performing and reclaim her voice. I'm your host, Celeste, and around here, we don't do surface level. We go deep. Each week, we'll explore concepts like self-discovery, radical honesty, and the kind of healing that rewrites your story from the inside out. This is a space for truth-telling, for remembering who you are, and for coming home to yourself, louder, braver, and more radiant than ever. So come as you are, and let's do this together. Let's begin. Welcome back to My Healing is Your Healing, and I am your host, Celeste. And today we're talking about something really big, as always. And we're talking about the year that I stopped abandoning myself and retired from being the good girl. This year has taught me how to stop leaving myself behind. Not because I suddenly became this superhuman badass who never cries and deadlifts her feelings at the gym. Not at all. But because everything in my life that wasn't aligned finally just became too heavy to carry. So I just had to drop it. All of it. The pretending, the patterns, the nice girl act, the relationship that didn't actually fit me. And I realized that it is not my job to make everyone else happy. It is not my job to keep the peace at the cost of my own sanity. Like I said in the last episode, I am going to be the only person that I will be with for every single second of my life. So if I don't align my life with me, then what the hell am I doing? When I become deeply in love with who I am and the life that I'm building, 3 things actually happen. The first one is that I teach other people how to treat and love me. The woman that I used to be, the people pleaser, the white knuckler, the one that was trying to always control the outcome of everything, was teaching people that I didn't matter, that they were more important than me. I was teaching them that their needs came first and mine were optional. So guess what I got? Relationships that reflected exactly that. Number 2 is I stopped expecting that anyone else is going to be in charge of my own happiness, because I was constantly waiting for someone to knock on the door and save me, take me on adventures, to buy me flowers, to make my life better. But this is not a movie. No one is coming to carry me off the couch and into my dream life. And so I had to realize that I have to be the one to knock on my own door. I am the only person who truly knows what I love, what I hate, what lights me up, and what drains me. So why would I hand my happiness to anyone else? Other people can come along for the ride. But in this case, I'm driving. Number 3 is I stay in integrity with myself, whether people approve of that or not. And this is the hardest one for me. I used to think that being nice was the most important thing. That if I was nice enough, or soft enough, likable enough, that everyone would approve of me and be my best friend. Like, I would lie awake replaying conversations from 10 hours ago, wondering what they thought, if I said the wrong thing, or if they were mad at me. Now, I don't care in the same way. Not because I'm rude or selfish, but because I understand this. I am responsible for my feelings, my choices, and my alignment. Other people are responsible for theirs. If they like me, great. If they don't, great. I am not for everyone. And finally, I am okay with that. So let's go into what self-abandonment actually is. It is saying yes when your whole body means no. Avoiding the discomfort of honesty because you want to be liked by someone. Swallowing your needs and calling it no big deal. Performing your version of your own identity, or performing a personality instead of just being who you are. It's like when you wind up with a glass of Coke Zero and what you actually wanted was a glass of milk. Are those the same thing? Absolutely not. But you told yourself, it's fine, I don't want to be difficult. Self-abandonment is avoiding disagreement at all costs. When you say whatever you want, so often that you stop knowing what it is that you actually want. And being nice when what you really are is hurt, tired, angry, or done. You don't want to leave a party, but you stay because you don't want to be rude. You don't want to be in the conversation anymore, but you just keep smiling and nodding. You want to end the relationship, but you drag it out because you don't want to deal with them thinking you're a bad person. We are told from the very beginning of our lives, be a good girl, be nice. But what does nice actually mean? Most of the time, it means don't rock the boat. Don't disagree with someone. Don't be too much. Don't ask for what you really want. Don't make anyone uncomfortable, even if it makes you miserable. Your job is to keep everyone else happy, or at least that's what you think. So you manage everyone else's emotions and you be likable at all costs. And being nice becomes a costume for self-erasure. No one actually knows who you are. They just know you as, wow, she's so nice. And here's the wild part. When you're trying to make 100 different people like you, you don't just put one mask on. You put on 100. You become this chameleon. Okay, what does this person want from me? What version of me will they like? Okay, can I wear your face now? Because that'll make you love me, right? It's creepy. And it's also really exhausting. And that's how I realized that nobody could ever really love me or connect with me deeply, because I didn't even know who I was. I wasn't a person. I was just a mirror reflecting back what I thought everyone else wanted. I was shape-shifting and reading the room and guessing what might be palatable and then calling that my personality. I didn't have opinions. I just had a strategy. And it shows up in the smallest moments. I got myself doing it this week. Someone asked me, what would you like to drink? And I go, I'll have a glass of wine or whiskey. And then they're like, what kind? And my brain instantly went, shit, I don't know what you have. I don't want to pick your most expensive bottle. Just tell me what I want so I don't inconvenience you. It sounds tiny, but it's not. Because underneath that is a much bigger pattern. It's like asking, okay, please decide for me. Please approve of me. Please don't be upset with me. Instead of, this is what I like, this is what I want, and I trust my own taste. And those tiny moments add up. I was giving away my authority in all of these tiny 1,000 small decisions, and then wondering why I didn't feel so powerful when it came to the big ones. Self-abandonment feels like safety until you realize that you are the one who's disappearing. So let's talk about how self-abandonment actually looked in my real life. Not the cute Instagram version, but the messy, human, slightly embarrassing truth. Okay. Over the last year and a half, I was seeing someone. We will call him Situationship 1. From the very beginning, the first few dates were incredible. We had this electric, easy butterfly energy. He even told me at one point that he was going to stop seeing all of the other people that he was talking to on the apps, and he actually told them after he met me that he just wanted to stick with me. And I remember thinking that finally someone sees me. Then they started backpedaling. And suddenly it was like, okay, well, I still want to be able to see other people, but we should really keep things casual. I'm not ready for anything serious. And here I was, like, desperately trying to convince him that I was the one. It was like trying to hold this almost relationship together with emotional duct tape. And I kept asking myself, why am I never the girlfriend? Why does this always feel almost but not quite in every single one of my past relationships? And why am I always this almost woman, the almost choice, and then the next person always winds up being the one for them? And here is the truth that I finally had to swallow after all of this, after coming out the other side, was that it wasn't just about him. It was about who I was being with him. Because I had dated the same man with different faces my entire life. Not because all men are the same, but because I was the same woman doing the same self-abandoning habits. Self-abandonment in real life for me looked like this. Silence instead of setting boundaries. I let him say everything that he needed, but then when it came to be my turn, I didn't say what I needed. I just was trying to be easy. I pushed to see what I could get, but instead of stating what I wanted, in the very beginning and saying, hey, I want a relationship. This is what I want. This is who I am. I shapeshifted and tried to be everything he wanted me to be. Agreeableness instead of truth. I was so terrified that he would walk away if I told him the truth about how I felt or who I was. So I swallowed my needs like pills without water. I initiated everything. I planned every date. I nudged. I checked in. I was holding the emotional reins with both hands like some unhinged toddler driving a tractor. I was white-knuckling every single outcome. Whenever his name popped up on my phone, when it was like near a date, I braced myself for the, hey, I'm sorry, I can't make it. My nervous system treated every single text from him like this emergency alert. It didn't feel very good. I was overfunctioning and underexpressing. I handled the logistics and emotions and timing and energy and scheduling, all of it. And I showed up like this cruise director of our relationship, and he just showed up like a tourist. And of course he could feel it. Neediness has this smell to it. You cannot Febreze it away. And the big one, I was performing instead of just being me. I wasn't being myself. I was being a projection of who I thought he'd want. I literally put his kid's custody schedule in my calendar so that I could plan my life around his availability. That's not romance. That is not devotion. This is self-abandonment dressed as loyalty, as love. I was basically walking around the world like with the ugly duckling, are you my mother energy. Like, will you love me if I just get it right? If I shapeshift just enough, will you like me? If I wear what you like, if I talk how you like, if I learn jujitsu, if I contort myself into the most convenient version of me, I was like the gremlin that nobody warned him about. I was cute at first, but if you fed me after midnight, I would emotionally combust in your living room. And honestly, would I have wanted to date that version of me? Absolutely not. No, I would have run. Not because I'm unlovable. I was wildly lovable. But because I wasn't being real. I wasn't rooted and grounded. I wasn't me. I was oozing anxiety, neediness, please choose me energy. And no one wants to date a human emotional support chameleon. That's me. The real me, the radiant, grounded, strong, confident woman that I'm becoming, she is magnetic. She is centered. She has a whole vibe. But the version that I was offering, oh man, it was like trying to fling dog poo off of your shoe. It sticks, it smells, and no one knows how to get rid of it because it is stuck in all the little cracks in the bottom. And then came my identity rupture. Our breakup wasn't even a breakup. I finally expressed to him how I had been feeling. Then he just stopped talking to me. Gone, vanished. Silence. Weeks of silence. Which hurt deeply because I honestly thought of him as my best friend. And then right on top of that came the hysterectomy, the couch, the stillness, the holidays falling apart, my book launch moving, my other friendships feeling like they were dissolving, the quiet house, quiet life, quiet self. It was like watching all of these fireworks go off in my mind, these tiny explosive realizations as I sat in the stillness of who I had been. Oh my God, I was doing that? No wonder it didn't work out. No wonder he pulled away. No wonder things always just felt off. And every spark, every epiphany that I was having was just this piece of truth that I had been avoiding for so long. Not because I was broken, but because I just wasn't being myself. And the universe said, okay, sweet girl, sit down. It's time for you to hear the truth. And here's where everything started to click for me. And for the first time in like forever, I was sitting alone on my couch, swollen from surgery, unable to distract myself with plans or people or even TV. And I had to choose myself. Nobody else could save me. Nobody else could make decisions for me. Nobody else could distract me from myself. I was literally forced to sit there with myself. It was just me. And I realized something that shattered me in the best way. And I know we talked about this in the last episode. But I am the only person who will live every single second with me of my life. I am the only person who knows my full story. I am the only one who can change what my life is going to become. And here's the practical part that we need to talk about, the part that makes people really uncomfortable. If I want a certain life in 5 years from now, a certain relationship, that Boston qualifier, my own business, a home, this level of peace, I cannot expect it to magically materialize in 5 years. I can't sit in 2030 hoping that the mansion builds itself. I can't show up on race day hoping that I accidentally become fast. I can't expect a deep partnership while still offering these shallow versions of me. If I want the house, the Boston qualifier, the love that I deserve, the business, that radiant woman life, then right now is when that woman is built. Not later, not when things are calmer, or not when someone chooses me, not when I feel ready, but right now. Boston qualifying Celeste does not skip stretching. Future homeowner Celeste does not ignore her finances. Radiant woman in love Celeste does not perform niceness. She embodies her truth. So if I want this version of me 5 years from now, this version of me today has to start living like her. And that starts with one thing. I stop abandoning myself and I choose me. I build the foundation for the woman that I'm becoming in 5 years. And this turning point was not easy. It probably won't be for you either. It was not some glorious aha moment at the viewpoint of a mountaintop. It was me lying on my couch after a hysterectomy, realizing I can't run away from my feelings. I can't work out, hustle, or people please my way out of this. And I have to sit in the rawness of that my situationship was never a relationship. And I had to face the grief that my good girl strategy that I had relied on for so long did not protect me from pain. It just delayed when I was going to feel it. And so I had this brutal, honest moment with myself. If I keep living like this, I will keep creating the same life on repeat, dating the same man with a different face. If I want something different, I have to start choosing differently. For me, not for them. And from that moment on, there was this kind of quiet never again inside of me. Not never love again. Not never be vulnerable again. But never again will I abandon myself to keep someone else comfortable. Never again will I shrink to be chosen by someone else. Never again will I pretend that I don't know what I want just so I can seem easy. And choosing myself is not an easy overnight glow up. It's not a container of overnight oats. It has been small. It has been awkward, daily choices. And the kind that feel clumsy and uncomfortable at first, just because you're not used to doing them. You might have days where you could be feeling on top of the world, like, oh my God, I cracked the code. I'm healed. I'm a radiant woman. I'm unstoppable. And then the very next day, you're crawling on your knees, trying to grab onto one grounded thought. This is very hard. It's complicated, and it is not linear. But if you keep showing up for yourself, without blaming or judging yourself every time that you slip, because you will, it gets easier to choose alignment. It's like a habit. So for me, it looks like this. Setting boundaries and sticking to them, even when my voice shakes, even when it makes you uncomfortable. Even when I'm terrified that someone won't like what's going to come out of my mouth, if my truth makes someone else uncomfortable, that's allowed. They have their own work to do. Number 2, letting friendships shift instead of clinging out of fear of being alone. If I have non-negotiables in friendships and they're not being met, that person does not get main character energy in my life. They don't have to be completely cut off, but maybe they're moved from daily best friend to once a month coffee friend. Number 3, I'm doing dating differently. I'm not chasing. I'm not over-explaining. I am not emotionally managing grown-ass adults. I show up. He shows up. If he doesn't, or if he acts differently, then that's just information and I don't have to be upset. Number 4, saying no does not have to be a PowerPoint long explanation. No is a full sentence, and other people's reactions are theirs to handle. Number 5, listening to my body and resting when I'm tired instead of proving that I'm strong enough to push through. I will happily go to bed at 6 p.m. and I do not feel bad about it. And then finally, being honest about how I feel, even if it means disappointing someone. Because being the nice girl is not actually nice to me. I actually did that on a date today. Where the man asked me, so do I get to see you again? And I go, I don't think so. And I felt so awkward. And it just gripped me inside. I was like, oh my God, I feel so guilty because he looked like he was going to cry. But I realized it's okay to feel that way. He's not for me, and he will find someone who's better for him. This is all what it looks like to become the woman that I actually respect. A woman that I would choose to be friends with. A woman that I won't ever abandon. The moment you stop abandoning yourself is the moment that your life starts to meet you halfway. And what that means basically is life starts reflecting back the standards that you set for yourself. You stop accepting breadcrumbs because you're feeding yourself your own cake. You stop chasing attention because you already are attentive to your own needs. You don't have to outsource them anymore. And you stop begging for someone else to see you because you finally see you. So here's what this year has hammered into me. The first one is your worth does not come from being chosen. Being picked is not a personality trait. It's not like winning the lottery and suddenly you're valuable. Your worth has to be something you anchor into before anyone else recognizes it inside of you. You are worth showing up for, even if no one else has figured that out yet. You need to recognize it yourself. 2, the right people love the real you. You are not meant to be universally liked. It's like politics or any other spectrum. There are people all over the map. You are just one point on that line. So why are you trying to contort yourself into every single position at once? You don't need to perform the cool girl, the nice girl, the good girl. You just need to be you. And if someone doesn't like you, okay, they're not your person. Number 3, honesty is the portal to real connection. You cannot be deeply loved if you are never deeply seen. If you want people to know you, you have to be willing to know yourself first, and then let that self be visible. Number 4, boundaries create safety, not distance. They protect the relationships that you have with yourself and with others. They keep resentment from building silently in the background, and they keep you from ending every day feeling disrespected, depleted, or invisible. And then 5, you do not have to be nice. You need to be true. Kind? Yes. Respectful? Yes. Compassionate? Absolutely. But nice at the expense of your soul? No. Being a nice girl is often just abandoning yourself, but with better branding. Okay, so we're on to our toolbox. These are 3 practices for you to stop abandoning yourself. Let's make this something that you can do. So the first one is the self-abandonment audit. You can journal this. You can put it on the computer, do an audio message, however you want to do this. First one is, where did I silence myself this year? Is it in friendships and dating and work, family? Where did you dim your lights just to keep things being easy? And then number 2 is, what did I tolerate that actually hurt me? Disrespect, inconsistency, half effort, crumbs of attention, overwork, or constant emotional labor. Notice these patterns so you can start recognizing them faster next time. Okay, and then finally, what desire did I keep postponing? Travel, rest, financial freedom, therapy, moving, leaving, starting, loving? There is no judgment as always, just the truth. This is not a verdict, it is just data. Number 2, the reclamation practice. Every week, I want you to choose 3 things. So the first one is one boundary that you are going to hold. Example is, I'm not available for texting only or sex only relationships. Number 2, one truth that you will speak. Maybe it's a no. Maybe it's actually, this doesn't work for me. Maybe it's saying your actual drink order instead of just deferring or saying, I'll have what she's having. And then number 3 is one self-honoring decision that you will make. Whether it's going to bed early, going to the class that you wanted to go to, saying no to plans you didn't want, booking a massage, taking the walk, anything. These are tiny little rebellions against your old life. Tiny little love letters to your future self. Okay, and then our final, number 3, I don't know why I'm doing number 4, self-trust indicators. Instead of asking, do I like myself? Ask, how am I sleeping? Can I rest? Am I wired? Am I on edge? Do I need more sleep? What is my intuition saying? And do I listen? Am I overriding the gut nudge or am I honoring it? How is my energy? Am I perpetually drained from overgiving and under-receiving, or am I actually doing well? And then finally, where do I feel ease? With whom do I exhale? Who makes me anxious, small or tense? What activities are giving me energy instead of only draining it? These are kind of the vital signs to your life. They'll show you exactly where you are abandoning yourself and where you can do better. So this was the year I stopped abandoning myself. And because of that, next year is going to be the year that I finally get to start becoming the woman that I've seen in my mind. The woman who doesn't shrink, who doesn't chase, who doesn't sit around waiting to be chosen, because she chose herself first. And if you want support in walking through your no more good girl year, I would love to invite you into a year of becoming in the Radiant Women's Collective. We are moving the women's community online, which means that you, no matter where you live, can sit in the circle with us. This is for real women, real conversations, real healing, real becoming. We start in January. It's free to join. And you can sign up through the link below, or you can go to my website. It's myhealingisyourhealing.com and get on the list and see what's coming next. This next year, we are not abandoning ourselves. We are becoming. Until next time, keep showing up, keep growing, and remember, you were never meant to dim your light. Thanks for tuning in and being here, for healing out loud, and for walking this path beside me. If this episode cracked something open or helped you remember a part of yourself, pass it on and share it with someone you love. For more support, free resources, or the next steps to your journey, head over to my website, myhealingisyourhealing.com. And if you loved today's conversation, subscribe, rate, and leave a review. Your words help this space grow and help more women find their way home to themselves. If I was your muse today, then my healing is your healing. Until next time.